Should I wear specs?
Okay, like
Are we? Hi everyone. Let's wait for a few more people as usual. This is our last session of this series. I can't believe we started a month ago. Time is just flying. So Home Bakers has already asked you guys where you're from, because I also love to see where all of you are watching from. This is, some people are from, also let me know if you can hear me properly, okay? Gurgaon, Mysore, okay. Pondicherry. Tanzania. Wow. Mumbai, Kolkata. Voice is clear, yay. Okay. Good morning everyone. I hope all of you had a nice morning, and now you're ready to learn a really beautiful, delicious banger of a dessert. Okay, so for those of you who are joining me for the first time here, I keep looking here because I have a screen here where I can read all of your comments, so that's what is happening, okay? Let's wait for a few more people to join in and then we will start. Are you guys excited about today's topic? Because when we were planning this series, I wanted to start with a very chocolatey dessert, which was our, what was it? Gooey chocolate filled cookies, yes, that one. And then we wanted to end with a super chocolatey dessert and have something different in between. So that's what we did. Okay. Very much. Let's wait for a few more people. Let's hope there is going to be at least 100 of you here from the thousands of you on the group. Let's see. Some of you are saying that it's your first session. That's good. I mean, last but not the least, right? Okay, let's begin. We will see if more people join in between, okay? Let me introduce myself first for everyone here and also for the new ones. My name is Smriti Iyer. I'm a pastry chef based in Delhi. Right now we are at my school or studio space. This is called the Arch Studio. Today in association with homebakers.co.in as well as Jindal Cocoa, who are our wonderful sponsors for this, we are doing a 4-part series. This is the 4th class of that series, and today I'm going to show you how to make a beautiful, delicious, eye-rolling chocolate petit four, and this is a mocha orange petit four. Can some of you tell me, I usually have interactive sessions with my students, with my viewers, so I want you to tell me what Petit 4 is. If you guys know what it is, comment and let me know, and let me see if you can tell me. Okay. And in the meantime, I'm going to start making our first layer, which is our crumble for the bottom. Okay. So I'm going to ask my wonderful camera guy to come closer so you guys can see what's happening here. Okay. फ्रिज में से ना फ्रीज़र में से बटर और पानी दे दीजिए. Four elements, no. Small desserts, yes. Bite-sized pastries, small cakes, bite-sized, yes. Actually, most of you have written it correctly. It is a mini bite-sized. पानी डाल दो इसमें. This is a mini bite-sized dessert. Okay. All right. So what we have here is the crumble mixture. We're going to make this crumble in a bowl. So the first thing we're going to do here is to take some all-purpose flour or cake flour, one of those two, and some really cold butter. Okay, you need cold butter. You need cold butter. Why do you need cold butter for a crumble? Tell me why you need cold butter for a crumble. I'm using a pastry cutter here and I'm going to cut the butter into the flour. My butter is a little too cold right now, which is fine. I'm just going to let it come to workable temperature. Till then we are going to see. Yes, you guys have written small bite-sized cakes here, which is exactly correct. Now, Petit 4 is a part of French degustation menus. That's how it sort of started, and it is basically served at the end of a meal. Okay, you generally get a bunch of Petit 4s together. Okay, I'm just, by the way, cutting the butter into the flour. Butter was sitting for a little too long in the fridge, so it's a little bit cold right now, which is fine. But I'm just going to work it in, okay? Okay, let's see what you guys have written. It's a sandy texture. Cold butter makes it crumbly. Yes, that's correct. What happens when cold butter mixes with the flour is that it gives a nice crunchy texture. Okay, let's see. Okay, so mixing it in. Okay, can you see now? Can you see how the mixture is sort of crumbly? I'm now going to use, don't use frozen butter guys, okay? For this session we kept our batter a little bit to chill it in the freezer, and what happened is that it became too cold. You don't need it to be this cold. You want it to be cold enough so you can cut it with a pastry cutter, okay? Or you should have them chopped up so that it's easier for you to work with it, okay? Now to this we are going to add the oats. This is rolled oats. This is going to give a very nice crunchy texture. Our coffee powder, instant coffee powder, sugar. This is some caster sugar. You can use some, no, this is powdered sugar. You can use caster sugar if you want, okay? And then mix it all together. The oats here, people generally think that oats, anything made out of oats is healthy. That's not true. This is still a dessert. This is still, there's nothing healthy about this. There's only mental health. This is what I say. When you eat something nice, you feel happy, so it's good for your mental health, but it has nothing to do with healthy, okay? And now to this, I'm going to add really cold water. You don't need too much water because you're not trying to form a dough, but we are going to form a crumble. It's very easy to do. Just make sure that your butter and your water both are nice and cold, okay? You see that? Now I was explaining to you what a petit four is. And a petit four is a small dessert served at the end of a meal. This actually is a part of French degustation menus, and it is served after dessert. So, okay. So, usually in a full-fledged French degustation menu, you have 3 courses of sweet. One is the pre-dessert, okay, which is usually your very light, something that sets you up for dessert. So, like a sorbet. Usually a sorbet or a granita. This is, by the way, the texture you want, okay? And then I'm gonna, and then you have your dessert. I have my little pastry ring here, okay, prepared already. The recipe I've given you is for 8 inches. I'm making half the dessert because we already have some made previously. So, we are doing it in 6 inches, okay. Anytime you half cake batters, crumble batters, crumble mixtures, anything, you will go 2 inches lower, okay. So, if your cake batter fits into 8 inches, then you need to take 6 inches for half of it, okay. Now, I don't want you to press this in too much because we are not, again, we are not trying to form a dough like a biscuit. It still should be a little crumbly, right? That looks nice. Now this is going to go in a preheated oven at 150 degrees Celsius for about 18 to 20 minutes. Just keep an eye on it. It should be just a little bit golden on top, and then once it gets there, I'll show you what it looks like. Okay. We were talking about petit four. So we have the pre-dessert, which is usually a sorbet or a granita, and then you have the main dessert, which needs to be something hearty. It could be anything, and then you have your petit four as like the last bit of your nice bite-sized desserts. Okay. If you want to understand how it is, in India we have barfi or laddu, right? It's only this much, and that's what you're expected to take, right? It's only this much size. So petit four is kind of like barfi. So all of it is concentrated, it's heavy, and it's just this much. So think of whenever you're planning any type of petit four is not just any cake, okay? Petit four is something that needs to have a pack a punch in a small size. That's what you need to do. So if you have a cake which is very light and refreshing, and then you cut bite-sized pieces of it, that doesn't make it petit four. Petit four is when you have something that is dense and heavy. That's why a lot of chocolate truffles or chocolate based desserts, fudge, these type of things work much better as a petit four, okay? Now some of you are asking me if you need to do this in a cake ring. No, you can do this in any pan. Just prepare it with parchment paper hanging out so that you can take it off once it's done, okay? Now we are going to move on to the fudge part of this, and till then I want you to tell me what so in this recipe we are using 70% dark chocolate, from Jindal Cocoa. So I want you to tell me, I know a lot of you are obsessed with brownies like all of us. My question here is, what gives that shiny, crackly top to a brownie? Okay, and I'll tell you why I'm asking this, but I want you to tell me in the comments why a good brownie supposedly should have a shiny, crackly top. How does it get that top? Okay, just a disclaimer, I don't strive for that shiny top. I do it because everybody commercially wants to do it. I think a good brownie is much more about the texture on the inside rather than the shine on the outside. But let's presume that you are somebody who wants that shine. So why? How to get that shine, and what happens in the science of that brownie that gives it that shiny top? Yeah. Till then, I am melting my 70% dark chocolate in the microwave. Okay, let's see. Use of real chocolate gives that tons of sugar, good quality chocolate, condensed milk, sugar. You guys are correct. It's the sugar that gives it that shiny, crinkly top. Sugar mixed with protein is what forms that crust on the top. Okay. So when you're making brownie with eggs, what happens is that the egg whites combined with the sugar, it sort of rises up. Whether or not it has any leavening agents, proteins always leaven a batter, right? So whether it's your vegan proteins or your vegan proteins like aquafaba or your eggs, it's going to rise it up. It's going to dry out on top, and then you never bake fudge or fudgy brownies to till your skewer comes out. Okay, if your skewer comes out neat from a brownie, it's already overcooked. There is no point then. Okay, if you want fudginess, your brownie just needs to be just a little bit set on top. It should still be liquid from the inside. Okay, if you do that, then imagine you have this crust which rises up. When you take it out, it sort of falls down because inside it's not yet fully dry, right? So that liquid is sort of weighing it down, and your crust sits down and crackles. So that is what happens, which gives it that crinkly top everybody is obsessed with. So since we are not exactly making a brownie here. What we are making here is a fudge. Okay, and I will tell you a difference. You're not making pure fudge. This is, by the way, my 70% dark chocolate. Let's see if it's mixed in. Okay, I'm going to ask my camera guy to come closer so everybody can see it. Okay. This Petit 4 is going to be, you guys must try it. Absolutely. Like if I want you to try something, I want you to try all of the desserts I taught you or all of the creations I taught you. But absolutely, this one is right up there at the top. Okay. All right. So I've mixed in the butter with the melted chocolate. Since my butter was already a little bit at room temp, it didn't take that long. If your butter is straight out of the fridge, melt it along with the chocolate. Okay. Now to this, we are going to add orange zest. This is what is going to give it that beautiful orange flavor. And we are going to add our protein and sugar source, which is our condensed milk, which is going to give this that fudgy texture. Now, since we are using 70% dark chocolate here, it's all about balance, right? We will have a milk chocolate ganache on top of this and then dip it in milk chocolate as well. So I want to give it that balance, which is why we are using 70% dark chocolate. Okay, And when we make anything like a brownie or a fudge with 70% dark chocolate or anything that is a higher amount of cocoa, then you will not get that crinkly top. Why is that? Why is it that if you make chocolate, my apologies, if you make fudge or brownie, why will you not get a shiny top with a 70% plus? Let me see your comments. Chocolate and butter when combined give a crinkly top. No, that's not true. It's nothing to do with chocolate or butter. It's actually the protein along with the sugar. Can we use less dark chocolate? Yes, you can. But if you're going to not have the enrobing on the outside, then you can. Otherwise, I would suggest that you don't. Crinkly top is with sugar and 70% plus is got less sugar. Correct. That's absolutely true. So, since we are not even adding extra sugar to this recipe, all the sugar is coming from whatever is left in the chocolate and also the condensed milk. It doesn't have enough sugar to form that crinkly top, okay? But we are not aiming for the crinkly top here, so it's not a problem. And now to this, I'm adding just a little bit of all-purpose flour to set it, cocoa powder from Jindal cocoa, and we are just going to sift it in, because as you can see, cocoa powder when stored can sometimes be like this. Okay. All right. And then we are going to mix all of this together. To this, we are also going to add some water. I'm going to heat the water. The reason I like using hot water for this is so that this mixture becomes nice and sort of pourable. Okay, it helps combine everything. Okay. And now for the water, add little by little. You don't need, probably you don't need all of it, so just depends on the chocolate you're using, whether you're using dark or milk. Okay, mix it in a little more. Okay, while we are on this subject, I want you to tell me what is ganache in the comments. What is ganache? I think I've asked you this before, but I want to know if you guys were listening to the previous sessions. What is ganache? Okay, this is done. Can you see how nice and thick it is? This is what you need. Smells amazing from the dark chocolate from Jindal cocoa and also the orange zest. Okay. Chocolate won't seize because of water? No, it doesn't seize. Not in this setting. No, we are not trying to make tempered chocolate here, right? We are only trying to make a fudge. Mix of liquid and fat. Chocolate. So I asked you guys what is ganache, and you guys are telling me that it's chocolate emulsified with any liquid. That is absolutely correct. Sravani, absolutely correct. Chocolate emulsified with any kind of liquid. You guys are listening and I love it. Yes, it is chocolate combined with any kind of liquid. So it can be cream, which is the most popular version. It could be juice, it could be water, could be anything. So anything with chocolate emulsified into a smooth mixture is ganache. Okay. Let's see if the crumble is done. Okay, so that I can show you what it looks like. You have to resist eating this as is, huh? I'm telling you. So many of you are giving me the correct answers. I'm just loving this. I'm just loving this. Okay. This is, we're waiting for the crumble to kick in from the oven, and also in the meantime I'm going to just heat my enrobing mixture once again so that it's easier for you. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so our crumble has come out of the oven and I'm going to show you what it looks like. It's still hot. Can they see the crumble? Okay. Do you see how it's slightly golden on the edges? This is what you want, since it's going to go back into the oven along with the fudge, right? All right. So now to this, I'm pouring out my fudge mixture. As I said before, if you're not using a pastry ring, you can use any cake pan. Just put some parchment paper overhanging so that you're able to lift it off easily. Okay. It's so important to use high quality, good quality chocolate and not compound or any other low quality chocolate in this, because this type of recipes are completely all about the chocolate and the cocoa powder and the cocoa products. And then just straighten it out. This is going to go back into the oven at 140 degrees Celsius for about 20 minutes. Okay, and then I will show you what it looks like. Until then, I'm going to show you one that we have previously made. Okay, I'm going to also clear my station a little bit. All right. Does the texture of the crumble change with the use of room temp or hot water? Yes, it does, because the butter in the crumble is going to melt off, and we don't need that, right? We want the butter to be nice and solid, because what happens is that when it melts in the oven while everything bakes, it sort of creates these pockets which will end up in a nice and crumbly texture. Okay, that's what is going to happen. Okay. So we already have one large fudge here baked previously. Okay, scale. So the trick here is for you to chill your fudge completely first at room temperature and then in the fridge overnight or for 8 to 10 hours. As you can see, this is what it is, nice and solid. Can you see the crumble at the back? Yeah, and then the fudge right there. Okay, Now, I'm going to cut these. Do you need to grease and dust the parchment paper? No, you don't need to do that. You don't need to grease your parchment paper. Okay. And now we are going to cut the fudge so I can show you the texture. Once the ones I have made right now comes out of the oven, I will show you what it looks like. Okay. Till then, we are going to cut this open, okay, and I'm going to show you what the texture looks like. I've also made a ganache to go on top. It's the very simple ganache. The recipe, of course, is given to you already, or it'll be in the description box of this video. It has just 2 ingredients. It has milk chocolate from Jindal cocoa and some cream, and this mixture is for the top, the one that you saw in the photograph. Okay. One of you is asking me, what is enrobing mixture? Enrobing mixture is the chocolate mixture that is going to enrobe or cover the entirety of the outside. Okay, that's what is an enrobing mixture. Now, I'm going to cut this into, somebody in the comments was also asking me how to get a really nice, neat slice. There are only 2 ways to do that. One is by using a super sharp knife. Keep your knife sharp. I always talk about knives. If any of you follow me here on Instagram or have been with me for many years, you guys know how much emphasis I pay on to sharp knives or keeping your knives sharp. Okay. It's very, very important for you as a cook and you as a baker, pastry chef, anything. Keep your knives sharp, okay? That's the key. The other is to chill your brownie or your fudge overnight or a minimum of 8 to 10 hours covered with a cling wrap. That way, what's going to happen is that you're going to have a nice cut, okay? Nothing is going to crumble. If your brownie is crumbling while you cut it, that means you've overbaked it. That is why it's crumbling. Brownie is not a cake. Fudge is not a cake. Just because it's going into the oven doesn't mean it's a cake. It's actually closer to a cheesecake than to a cake. So please, whenever you are making anything that needs a fudgy texture, do not overbake it, okay? Forget about a skewer. You need to see if your brownie or your fudge has just a nice shiny top, and then you're going to take it out of the oven, okay? Now I'm going to cut this open so that you can see what the texture looks like. Okay, are you ready? Look at that. Can they see how beautiful and fudgy it is? It's also moist. There's a little bit of a crust. Can you see that? Yeah? And I'm going to just cut some of it right now for you guys because this is bite-sized, right? So the size I'm keeping today is 1 inch by 1 inch. Okay. And I will show you another little piece for texture. Okay, you see that? See this piece? Nice and fudgy, crumbly bottom. That is what you need, okay? Now, you can we will cut the rest of it later, okay? All right. Now, I'm gonna show you how to quickly temper chocolate. Now, tempering chocolate is a long subject on its own. You guys know that. Can you tell me why we temper chocolate? Okay, in the comments, tell me why we temper chocolate and where chocolate needs to be tempered and where it doesn't need to be tempered. I want you to tell me this. In the meantime, I have some milk chocolate from Jindal cocoa and some cocoa butter again from Jindal cocoa. Okay, and we are going to combine this. Just gonna clean up my station because you have to do that. Okay, now I'm gonna first melt this chocolate to about 40-45 degrees. Okay, we already have some. Okay. Couverture needs to be tempered to make it stable and to have a snap. Yes, that's absolutely true. Chocolate has beta crystals which require right temperatures. Once they are out, once they are at the right temperature, it has a snap and a shine. I'm so happy that you guys are talking about the beta crystals. To get it melted and again set, we temper chocolate. Yes, absolutely true. So, do we need to temper chocolate for ganache then? Do we also need to temper chocolate for ganache? Why not? Okay, melting it slowly. I'm also melting my cocoa butter alongside here. Okay. Yes, you guys are so right. Tempering chocolate is for it to hold its shape. So, wherever chocolate needs to hold its shape, we need to temper it, okay? Yes, you guys are right. No need to temper chocolate for ganache. No need to temper chocolate when it's going into the oven for baking, maybe into cookies or into cakes or any like brownies, fudge, anything. You don't, because it's not holding its shape there, so you don't need to temper it. You only need to temper it when it holds its shape, okay? Now, I'll tell you quickly how this whole shape things work, okay? Chocolate, just like anything else, has different crystals, okay? At molecular level, it has different elements which forms the chocolate, right? So, beta crystals, rightfully as one of you guys said, beta crystals have, yeah, just one sec, put it back into the freezer. We'll take it out in another 10 minutes. Beta crystals in chocolate is the crystal which is responsible for the structure. There are other elements, other crystals, if you might, at the molecular level, which is responsible for the flavor, for the aroma, for other characteristics of chocolate, right? So, beta crystals is what beta crystals is what you have, which needs to be aligned for your chocolate to hold its shape, which is responsible for the shape. Now, when beta crystals are not aligned properly in the chocolate, okay, आप imagine करिए in your molecular level, okay, if beta crystals are not aligned properly, chocolate is not going to hold its shape. If it's here and there, then your chocolate is also going to be here and there. it will not set. So to bring the beta crystals into alignment, by the way, I have some cocoa butter here which I am going to add to my milk chocolate here. So to align beta crystals, we have to temper chocolate, okay? And to temper chocolate, every chocolate has, I know a lot of people are very afraid of tempering, and there are many methods of tempering depending on how much quantity of chocolate you have to temper. But I am today showing you one of the easiest methods, which is the temperature method. There is seeding where you put chocolate back. As I said before, tempering is a long topic. We need at least a week's class only to learn tempering chocolate. But today we are doing a small session on how to quickly temper chocolate. So it's very easy, okay? In theory, you just have to remember that every chocolate has a different temperature curve, tempering curve. For milk chocolate, we are going to heat it to about 45 degrees or whatever temperature you want to heat it to till it melts. You need to then bring it down, okay? Then you need to bring it down to about 28 degrees Celsius. Then you need to heat it back up to 30 degrees, okay? That's what you need to do for milk chocolate. And this has some extra cocoa butter in it. Can somebody tell me why we added extra cocoa butter into this enrobing mixture? Let's see if you can tell me. Some of you are already asking me why we are using cocoa butter here, but I want you guys to tell me. Okay, let's check the temperature of this. Now I am using, this is at 42 right now. I'm going to wait. For this to come down to 28. Since I'm working in an AC room, it will happen quickly. And also using a plastic bowl would be much better than glass, because glass is not a good conductor of heat. So it will hold heat for longer, it will not cool down quicker. But I'm using glass just so that you guys can see everything properly in a camera, okay? We already have some pre-tempered chocolate enrobing mixture. So I'm going to keep this on the side. I will show you what it looks like once it gets there. But till then, I already have some enrobing mixture which I'm going to just warm up a little bit. Okay, so you guys are telling me to have gloss, to give shine to the final product. That's not right, that's not right. Okay, one of you said that, so it will not solidify and be of pouring consistency. Well, it's not about solidifying, it needs to solidify, but yes, it needs to be in the pouring consistency. If you just temper any type of chocolate and then you dip your anything into it, it will form a really thick shell, okay? It will not form a thin shell, and you want a thin shell. Whenever you are enrobing anything, you want a thin shell. Wait, okay. You want to form a thin shell, okay? All right, I think this is done. We can get the cold hair. Get the cold. We already have some. Can the camera guy come close to me? Okay. So no, it's not for softness and shine and all of that. It's mainly so that your mixture is a little bit on the runnier, thinner side. Okay, that is why we use. All right. Now we have our little pieces here. And I'm going to show you how to pipe some ganache on top of this. This is just a little bit of an extra step. You can leave it like that, like you saw in the picture that I posted earlier. There are some with pecans on top and there are some with ganache enrobed. So this is just some ganache. Okay, it's a little bit cold right now. Piping bag. Okay, till then I'll show you what the final mixture looks like. See, we have these which are cold. You need to put your Petit four into the freezer, okay, so that it is nice and cold when you go to enrobe it, right? Now, we have our enrobing mixture right here, okay. We are still waiting on this one, the other one that we just prepared. So we're going to take, this is what you're going to do, okay. Can you see it? You're going to take 2 toothpicks or 2 skewers. You're going to pick them up like this. You're going to then dip into the enrobing mixture and make sure to wipe it down like that, okay, and then just wipe it off, wipe off the bottom like this, and then just place it over. Once it sets, you can easily take off these skewers, which I'm going to show you, okay. This is how you do a plain and simple one. At this point, you can just put a little bit of salt on top if you want. As you guys already know, if you guys have been following me, then you know that I like salt with chocolate. So this is going to set on the side. Just like that, we have, okay, my ganache is here, so I'm going to show you how to pipe the ganache on top of this. Okay, so you're just going to take it like that. This is a very big nozzle. I need small nozzle. Okay, just a sec, guys. Okay, till then I'm going to show you how to enrobe this one. We will pipe it out, okay. This is the ganache which we previously piped, and it's also been put into the freezer for some time so that it sets, okay. And then to this I'm going to put another 2 skewers, okay, any 2 skewers, put it on the side like that so that you can pick it up easily, and then into the enrobing mixture, just shake it around, and that's it. Okay, wipe it off, and then just like the previous one which is already set, you wipe down the bottom and then it will set. Now the previous one is already set, so I'm going to just twist and take it off, okay, twist, take it off like that, and then while it's still a little bit like this, you add your nut on top. Can you see that? Now I'm going to place it right here, and we are going to finally, for the 3rd time, hopefully 3rd time is the charm, pipe our ganache. So this is our ganache. So you pipe it like that, okay. You want a nice long peak. Okay, you don't want to use a very big nozzle for it, because what's going to happen is that then it's not going to have these kisses. Now once you've piped your ganache on top, you're going to place this in the freezer, and then it will look like this, nice and set, right, and then you'll be able to enrobe this, okay. So we are going to enrobe a few more so you guys can see what it looks like. So I'm going to enrobe This is looking nice here. Let's enrobe a few more, and again, you pick this up like that, put it in your enrobing mixture, wipe it off, and then you wipe it down on a silicone or any surface, and then you place it on the side. Now this is done, the one we did previously, so I'm going to twist it and take it off like that. And then there are two ways to hide these. There are two ways to hide these, okay? What you can do is, you can take a little bit of enrobing mixture and place it where the holes are, right? That way it will cover up, and then you can put a little bit of salt, okay? A little bit of salt like that, so that it's covered up. Can you see that? Okay, I'm going to place it right there, and while you ask me your questions, I am going to enrobe maybe another one with ganache on top. I think this is the one, yeah. Okay. So are you enjoying this? Are you going to enrobe things? Once you learn how to do proper enrobing, you want to dip everything in chocolate. Everything. Well, at least the chocolatey desserts will go into the oven, into the enrobing mixture. Okay, so I think 4 are enough for now. I'm going to show you how I like to finish them. We're going to finish dipping them a little bit later. Now the ganache we made, of course the recipe is written down for you. The ganache we made is just with milk chocolate and some cream, and it's been emulsified properly and then put in the fridge overnight or for 3 to 4 hours, and then whipped to stiff peaks. That's what you want to do, okay? This one is also done. I can see that it can easily be taken out, and then just fill up those holes. Okay, and then place your pecan on top. Okay, let's check our enrobing mixture as well. Let's see if this has dropped its temperature. Still a little bit. When you do lesser quantities, you can do it this way. When you're doing more quantities, the tempering should happen by the tabling method, so that you can basically what happens, you must have seen those videos where chefs look cool by doing this to the chocolate, right? What happens is that if you use a marble or a granite type cold surface, the chocolate is going to then cool off evenly on a surface, okay? That's why you need, it's done specially when there is a larger amount of chocolate. Okay, this one is also done, I can see. Take off the skewer and fill the little hole. Okay. And then let's place it here. Okay. And then I'm going to put a little bit of salt on top. Okay. Now, if you don't want to enrobe with, you're a little intimidated, you don't want to enrobe with real chocolate, you can use coating chocolate for this, which is basically compound, but I would suggest that you do try tempering, and if not that also, I want you to at least make the Petit four and not enrobe it at all if you want, okay? We're still waiting on this chocolate. Looks like we're going to have to wait for a little bit longer for this, but in the meantime, let's give this a cut and I will show you what it looks like from the inside. Okay, come. And I will also clear this table. Okay. First of all, I'm going to place a little piece of silver. You can also do gold on top of this, just to be a little extra, because this is a very luxurious tasting dessert. So why not give it a little oomph, right? But it's completely optional, of course. And now let me show you the texture from the inside. Let's cut this one. Let's cut this one. Okay. Are you ready? Let's do this. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? I'm going to keep it like this so you guys can see. Like this maybe? Is this better? Okay. How do we know that the enrobing mixture is ready? So enrobing mixture is the working temperature for the enrobing mixture is going to be 32. Okay, somewhere around between 30 to 32 is perfect for enrobing mixture, the working temperature of the enrobing mixture. Guys, since this is a 1 hour demo session, it took us a little bit longer to do this tempering, because tempering does take time. But basically, I'm telling you, you just have to melt the chocolate. I'm going to place it right here. You melt the chocolate, okay, with cocoa butter. Don't heat it beyond 45 degrees because it's going to start caramelizing and we don't want that. Then you will need to bring it down simply. You need to cool it down to 28 degrees Celsius. Then you need to bring up the temperature to around 30 to 31 degrees Celsius, and that's how you know that it's tempered. Okay, it's getting there. It's at 30. We're going to bring it down to 28, and then I'm going to heat it back up to 30, and that's how you know that your mixture is ready. Okay. Can we use regular table butter for the enrobing mixture? No, you cannot use butter for enrobing mixture. No. I'm going to give you a jugaad for beginners, especially if you guys are a little bit afraid to do tempering. Please do temper chocolate, because any baker, any pastry chef needs to know how to temper chocolate. You need to practice it. You don't have to be doing chocolate sculptures, but doing basic tempering is something all of you should learn how to do. Okay. Now, if you don't want to do that at the moment, you can use coating chocolate or compound, and you can add a little, you can just melt it, you don't need to temper it, of course. Then you can add a little bit of coconut oil. There is no other oil you should be using for this. Coconut oil is going to give you a nice because it is also saturated fat, it's going to set nicely on top. Okay. You can use vegetable oil if you want, but what's going to happen is that it's not going to set properly unless it's refrigerated. So use coconut oil and compound if you don't want to temper. But honestly, using real chocolate versus using compound is like zameen asman ka farak, like they say. Okay. So please do temper chocolate. If not a kilo of it, do small quantities, and like we are doing here, small quantities of chocolate can also be tempered, and it's good for practicing like that. Tempering is just heating chocolate up, bringing the temperature down, bringing the temperature a little bit up. That's it. That is it. In theory, that is it. Still 1 degree to go. So I think I will have to wait a little bit longer. But as it cools down, let me tell you a little bit about the Bake Fiesta that's going to happen with homebakers.co.in. It is going to be a 3-day online event where they have 18 different master classes happening in June from 9 to 11. and it's going to have 18 different chefs and bakers coming online to share with you their strengths. So be it sugar flours or textures or fondant work, or me with my little bread, all of these different techniques. So if you want to enroll for that, the link is going to be in the description box and also going to be shared in the group a little bit later. Okay. Also on that note, all of the chocolate products we use today is from Jindal Cocoa, so you can find the distributor list of Jindal Cocoa in the description box below, and also in the student groups that we have formed for these 4 classes. Okay. Last but not the least, till our chocolate is coming down in temperature, if any of you want to enroll for any of my classes, we are a school, so we have classes, just FYI if anybody doesn't know what's going on here. We have 27 different courses on our online school called Smriti Special Online School. We also have hands-on courses in our studio here in Delhi. This is basically our new studio school, and we are inaugurating it day after tomorrow, so it's going to be fun. And so if any of you want to connect with my team, you can drop a message or email. Okay, let's check one last time if the temperature has come down here. Yes, it has. Yes, it has. Do you want me to show you till the end the temper, or can we finish off this session? I want to know in the comment section. Okay, let me read a few comments. Maybe a silly question, but should we keep on mixing to bring the temperature down? Yes, it's not a silly question. You should do it. I'm not doing it because I'm also having a conversation with you guys. In fact, mixing it continuously is going to give you a more even shine, okay, because the beta crystals is going to be evened out into the chocolate. Okay, so please keep mixing it. All right. Please take a class on tempering chocolate. Yes, of course we have class on tempering chocolate, but it can't be a 1-hour session. As I said, it's going to be a few days. Okay. If we don't have oats, is there substitute? You can leave out the oats if you don't want to add it. I add it because I like that crumbly texture on the bottom. You can use any other millets that you like, or you can use some nuts like chopped up almonds or pecans or anything. Yeah. It's tempting me, yummy, awesome. Was the knife hot when you cut it? No, the knife is not hot because you don't need it to be hot. It's not that cold for you to be concerned with the hot. It's a sharp knife though. As I said, keep your knives sharp. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's see. Let's check. Okay, it's dropped down. I'm going to, this is at 28 degrees Celsius now. I'm going to put it back into the microwave and bring it up to 30. So I'm not going to heat it too much, maybe for 20 seconds, and then we'll mix it and check again. Okay. All right. So how many of you are going to make these petit four and not just enjoy this video? Yeah, how many of you are going to make the petit four? I want to know. Even if you don't make the entire thing. Okay, let me check the temperature of this now. Hopefully it's 30 degrees. It's a little over. This is what happens, guys. This is what happens sometimes. Okay. वो प्लास्टिक वाला बोल दे दो मुझे. Okay. Let's check again. We have to wait a little bit, okay? Let me do one thing. I'm going to shoot a video and I'm going to post it into the group so that you guys don't have to forever keep waiting in this video and make it long excessively, right? So once this gets to temper, I will show you a video in the group, okay? I will see you. This is our last session with Jindal Cocoa and homebakers.co.in. I hope you guys do make this Petit 4. It's beautiful, it's delicious. Do try it. You'll feel like luxury in your mouth, okay? I'll see you sometime. Bye guys.